me to get my phone that I go live on, which is what I was using for TikTok Live, second phone. So I get the phone, and he said, "No, I want you to go to your camera roll." And in there, I had all the screenshots, and I was shaking. I was so nervous because, like, whenever there'd be something that upset him, it was always comments that alluded to suicide.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. And today, make sure to thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content as we go on. But yesterday night, I came across, by complete fluke and happenstance, the new documentary that was released on YouTube called The Crystalia Problem. And it was shocking, to say the least. For those of you that don't know, that it was released, and it was the structure, the presentation was similar to that of Escaping R. Kelly, in that they had a couple of different people who were giving their testimonies and stuff like that, and actually presenting evidence. And the wildest part is that there's one girl who just flat out shows herself and is very public about it, shows her face and everything, has recordings. And somebody that literally lives like close by to me, very close by. And the only reason I know that is because I've actually seen her on some of the dating apps, and I keep my search very, very tight in terms of distance covered. For those of you that know about that stuff, you can choose like a distance, and I keep mine very tight, and I've actually literally seen her. And the reason I saw it is because I've seen her, and then I like have her on Instagram. Yeah. And that part made it very, this isn't a big city that I live in. This isn't a big city. It's not like downtown Toronto or like Manhattan or Los Angeles or Montreal or Vancouver. It's much smaller. So to know that this person is just like, how many times I could have like walked, cross paths with them is crazy, and it makes it a lot more touchy. There's like, they're talking about branding, like all the girls had the same tattoo, his initials either on the neck or on the hand. There was a lot of just, it was a lot of voiceovers because a lot of them decided to stay anonymous. So you're sort of watching it, and it's sort of like how it was when the allegations first came out 2 years ago, where it's like there's not really anything here. Like none of this can be substantiated. None of this could be, proven. Like, kind of like how it was 2 years ago, where it was like there's really nothing here. Like, people are kind of blowing this up and reading into it a lot rather than just letting the evidence be what it is. But then, about half an hour, I think it's at the 35-minute mark, the girl, her name in there was Jasmine. Not sure if that's her real name or not, but she had the smoking gun, which makes this even crazier because she had like the fact that right there, and that she was the one that had the real smoking gun in this whole documentary. It's a recorded conversation. She had begun to post things online again, and Chris made a new Snapchat specifically to call her, and she recorded the phone conversation.
I don't know. I don't get how you can say that you cared about me or any of the other people. That I just don't get it, and I just want to understand.
I don't know. I mean, I thought that, can you show me where you are? I mean, I don't ever want people feeling bad about themselves. Like, you know that.
But in these tapes, they talk about how Chris would obsess over her weight and have her measure herself and weigh herself. This is mentioned in her posts, so these recordings sort of timestamp themselves.
I just, like, even, like, you say you didn't know about the weight thing, but, like, you did. We talked about it, and then...
I did, but did I always said you looked good, right?
Kind of, but I remember asking you, like saying about wanting to, like, be a little thicker or whatever, like, put on weight, and you literally told me that you have thick girls, that you want me dainty, like, and it fucked with me a lot.
I see. Yeah, I lied to you.
I feel like it's more than just lies. Like, that was fucked.
And he unwittingly, I guess, got sucked into the conversation and confirmed everything. Like, it's him. Like, it's him talking. It's literally his voice. Unless it's someone who does a picture perfect impression of him, it is Chris D'Elia on the other end of that phone. And he admits, she says the things that he did that made her upset, and he admitted to all of it. And it was so incredibly shocking and gross. I felt gross after. I remember some people messaged me on Instagram. I sort of posted, like, I said, I'm like, it's one thing when there's not really any good evidence to dismiss something, but now that there is, see you later, D'Elia. People were like, what happened? I just said, I'm like, man, I just feel so gross watching it. And the other thing is the fact that when he came back with that podcast and that apology video, he was still literally in relationships with these women on the side.
So when he put out the apology video, I was so genuinely confused by it because prior to that, everything was back to normal. He was being his regular self, and I wrote him about it. He told me point blank, I don't want anything to change. So we were dating as normal, the way that things had been going since the start, from March of 2020 to April of 2022. Nothing ever changed, even when he posted the apology video.
And his wife knew all about it on top of that, because again, the Jasmine girl says that she spoke to his wife, and he knows that she did.
Didn't happen. And having that conversation with Kristen,
it was from a different Snapchat. So he had the Vinny Drago one that he moved his other girlfriends to in, like the ones that he was quote unquote keeping after the cancellation. That's the one he used for quite some time until I told his wife about it. And then that's when he switched over to a new one that I don't know the name of. And then he made a brand new one to call me on. But he likes to take videos of himself doing things with the girls. And so there's like a video of me, you know, doing stuff in his car that he told me is on his computer at home. After I spoke with her and gave her all these dates and times that I saw him, like everything that I had, and she still refused to believe a word of it.
And that he's going to Disneyland with his family and talking about how cute they are, but then literally messaging these girls, talking about how cute they'd look in Mickey Mouse ears. It is unbelievable. I cannot believe that I was a fan of this guy. I can't believe that when these allegations first came out, that I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I stand by the fact that those opening allegations 2 years ago, that there wasn't enough there for people to make a real fair call on what happened or not. But now there's no excuse. There's no excuse. I also stand by the fact that all these comedians who, when the first allegations came out, all decided that all of a sudden they didn't know Chris D'Elia and they weren't friends with him and they didn't know this stuff was going on, or they knew this stuff was going on and didn't say anything, and now all of a sudden they're like disavowing him. Nah, fuck you guys. And that goes for Whitney Cummings and all them too, the ones that pretend like they didn't know Chris D'Elia. Because the only reason you disavowed him is because shit came out. You should have been doing that long time before that, because the day before that, you were posting about him like he was your best friend. And then all of a sudden the next day you're just like, yep, well, he's a piece of crap and I kind of knew it. And but it's like, if you did, then that makes you even a bigger piece of crap, because now you're just literally protecting yourself by throwing this guy under the bus. And I don't know what Theo Vaughn and Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub, who are like the only 3 friends I think that he has left, I don't know what their response is going to be to this. But I'm sorry, boys. You got nothing now to back it up. You got nothing to stand by him on now. Because, like, that shit that he was doing, I mean, I'm not going to say it was like R. Kelly shit by any means. But that doesn't mean that it's not bad. That doesn't mean that it's not disgusting. And that doesn't mean that he's not a absolute terrible person. Because he is. And you've seen from the parts that I've sort of sprinkled in here from the actual documentary, it's... I just feel gross. And I feel bad. And even though it's like, you're not... I don't know him. But it's something when you're a fan of somebody and then you give them the benefit of the doubt when some bad shit happens. Because let's be real. There's a lot of celebrities who face a lot of BS allegations from people who are just trying to make money off of them. That's the reality of being somebody with lots of money and lots of fame. Anyone will tell you that. That's why every single person, once you get a certain amount of money, you have to keep a lawyer on retainer. That's like the first advice you get from other people. It's like, even if you're not a bad guy, you pretty much got to have a lawyer on retainer all the time, because people are going to come out of the woodwork trying to siphon off of you. But there's still that, like, feeling of betrayal, even though he didn't owe me anything. You know? It's like, you motherfucker. Like, people backed you. And you played it perfectly into that. And just listening to some of to how he spoke in that phone, you could feel the manipulating nature of how he really is. It is. It is so fucked. And I'm not happy with myself. Because, like, nobody knows. It goes back to the old Bill Burr joke about, like, nobody who's not rich and famous can fathom what it's like to have women just throw it at you nonstop all day. Like, there's enough regular people who don't have that who still can't resist. So, I mean, but this is not that. This is a guy who took people, manipulated them, used self-deletion as a way to sort of keep them quiet and keep them close. And then played Mr. like empathy, like, oh, it's nice to hear that you're being a real person now.
I don't know what to say. I hate that it happened now. I don't give a fuck. I'm just... It's nice to hear a person, like I said.
What the fuck does that mean? And like the voice and like the speech pat. Oh my god. God. But you guys, just to get more of a full, broad context on everything, should just go and watch it. It's the first thing. You type in Chris D'Elia on YouTube, it's the first thing that pops up. At least it was for me. So, go ahead and give that a watch. And it feels weird to say this, but like this video and subscribe to the channel. And leave your thoughts in the comment section if you've already seen it. Yeah. Thanks for watching, I guess. Yeah. Bye.